What's up, people? This is William Jones making videos about leaving religion. The purpose of the videos is to get you to think. Turn your brains on and think. And use logic and use reason and realize that religion is fake. Alright, people, it's been a while since I have done a video. A while. And so much is going on at my house that when you live by yourself in your house and you do your videos on the couch in the living room, that's no problem. And then when people start moving in with you, it becomes a problem because your studio is your living room where everybody actually congregates. And then when I tell you that my daughter was pretty much stranded with me with my 2 grandkids for 3 months. And she lived on this couch. So she lived in this living room. So it's kind of hard to do a video when you got somebody with you for 3 months with a child living on your couch. And then when her sister took her back home to another state, which she stays with my mom got in the car with my daughter and came back. So one left the couch and my mom came and stayed with me for a long while. She slept on the couch. So, and then my mom she's in her 70s, early 70s, and she's a Christian. So one thing that we do not bring up is religion. I'm not going to try to shoot one of these videos while she's here, even though it's my house. I come from the era we just respect our elders, and I'm not going to try to ruffle any feathers or anything. So it was already a whole thing when I came out of religion, you know, from being an apostle to I don't believe it. So I wasn't going to start making no waves. I wouldn't even read certain of my books in her presence. I go in my room and read them. I have them on my library in my other room, but they see the books, but I don't throw it in their face. We just leave religion off the table. That's just how we got to do it. So I couldn't shoot videos because my mom was here. But she just sat in here watching cowboy, all westerns all day, and you know how they do. So that's my mom. I love her. So I'm not complaining about it. That's just what the situation is. I enjoyed her being here, cooking every day too. But now I'm back to normal. My daughter's gone, so I had a little time to shoot a video. And I don't even know what I'm gonna talk about. I'm just talking. I'm trying to get some other videos together, but I have to actually put the information together to give to you all. And I know basically I might have so many subscribers, but those who actually be watching is in the range of about 1,200 people. Because these videos were maxed out at around 1,200 like within the first couple of days. I noticed that. So there's 1,200 of you out there that really be watching these videos, and thank you. The others of you, I thank you too. You know, I know I don't post all the time, so those who do post all the time will get all the views and what have you. But also hit the like buttons. Change the algorithms, hit the like button. I watch a lot of videos myself, I'm guilty, and don't hit the like button. But if you subscribe, at least hit the like button, you know, and let's just talk. In this day and age of information, the sheep are restless. And when I say the sheep, I mean the Christians. As they're watching a lot of people leaving religion, they're seeing it. And the information is there for people. And they can't accept it. They cannot accept it. You know, they're gonna call you the devil. You've been swayed by the devil. That scripture that says, you know, that in the latter days that many shall fall away, and you know, all the con man stuff to keep you locked in on his scam so he can control you. All of those things. You just can't fall for that mess. You know, when the evidence is in your face, but the evidence for God is not in your face. A person that evolved into being the creator of everything, when there used to be in older religions a earth god or a sky god, a sun god, a moon god, a thunder god, water god, a god of harvest, and a god of healing, and the list goes on. They had a god for everything, whereas this Christian God has morphed from being the child of a god and a goddess with siblings and a pantheon to being a God that has always existed and created everything. Evolved into that. Which is why even in Genesis it says, Genesis chapter 1 in the first creation story, let us make man in our image after our likeness and let them have domain, but then he made male and female. You said let us, and then made male and female. Why? Because you had El, the father god there, Asherah, the mother goddess, she was there, the children were there, and it was no different than the Greek pantheon, and they made man. That's one story. And that's something, that's a whole video I'm working on, is about all of that right there to clear up some things for some of us. And one thing I realize you cannot do, you cannot share information with Christians. It's futile. It's like trying to mix oil with water. It's not gonna mix. I don't care what you do, how you think you're gonna do it, it's not gonna mix. The two will not mix. A Christian cannot receive information that goes against their theology, no matter how logical it is, and no matter how illogical what they believe is. It's just virtually impossible. And I've tried it from every angle. What if I go into the sites or on Facebook, I go into different pages and drop information. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how you do it. They will figure a way to weasel out of it. As I call them, the greased pigs. They will weasel out of it, and they look for confirmation bias. And what's confirmation bias? I just need somebody to agree with me. And if I hear somebody else agree with me, then that's the truth. And who do they go to? Another Christian. Or they go to a Christian apologist. And I would say, a Christian apologists are liars, but if I say, I even get urban Christian apologists, since they want to be that now. The urban mean they black Christian apologists. They got a page on YouTube or Facebook, and that just means a black Christian liar. The word apologist, basically, when you say Christian apologist, I'm not going to say for any apologist, but a Christian apologist is basically a liar. So me calling them a Christian apologist liar is like me saying wet water. If I say water, you already know it's wet. If I say Christian apologist, you know they're lying. That's how it goes. They are going to blatantly lie, and twisting the truth is a lie. Why? Because the people that give them power to be what they are want to be lied to protect that perfect myth or idea. Let me say this myth to us, to that perfect idea in their heads. It has to be protected at all costs. At all costs. Now, I've seen it before where their researchers, this was their research. Well, I asked this person and they said that was all the research they needed. That was all the research that was needed. So you mean to tell me you didn't go read a book or look anything up, you just asked someone else and they agreed with you, and that was it. Right, because they don't want that cage rattled. It's like that bubble. You know how if you got the little thing, you blow the soap bubbles, and if you touch that bubble with a dry hand, that whole bubble pops. But if you touch that bubble with a soapy hand, you can actually catch that bubble, because the soap on your hand won't dry out the bubble, and you can touch it. And then see, that's what they want. They don't want the dry hand touching that bubble. They want the soaked up hand to tell them what they want to hear. Which is why if they go and say, I'm going to go ask my pastor, because to the Christian, the pastor is like the professor, like he really knows stuff. No, he's just a dude standing on stage that has courage enough to speak in a microphone, which most people are too scared of speaking to a microphone. And I understand, I used to be like that when I was younger, being a Christian rapper and all of those things. And I don't know, I was shy when I was younger. Somewhere I just came out of all that and started talking. But they just bold enough to get up in the pulpit and talk. And the thing is about it is they can tell the people lies. It's not like the people are gonna, none of them leave church and actually go do some real research, because if they did, there wouldn't be anybody in church. The pastor said, is that not one of the things Christians always say? Well, pastor said, and that's just, they go to the apologists, and they find apologists, some of them are pastors, so they just find out what they say, and people don't really know history, so they believe the lies. They don't know anything about real history, about Assyria when it was a power, and then Babylon, and about Kemet or Egypt. Kemet is called Egypt, okay? They don't know about Persia. They don't know about the Roman Empire. They don't know about these things. And so everything that surrounds their so-called Bible narrative, they don't know about. They just believe what the Bible says, and the Bible is like us watching Lucifer, the TV show. It's a story. It's a story, and pulls from, real life, but it's just a TV show. It's fictional. And that's what the Bible is, and they don't understand that. It's some things I don't want to say in this video because I'm saving them for the next video. But they are restless right now because they are watching people boldly come out against Christianity. They're watching family members, and I'll read the comments. They'll say something, they'll be like, cousin, I'm going to pray for you. You don't know what you're saying and all of this and that. Because they're trapped in that little Christian bubble or box or bubble, either one. They're trapped in there, and they can't think outside of that. They are trapped. Even when they do the Pascal's wager, well, if I believe, if I don't believe, right, this is the Pascal's wager, if I don't believe and I'm wrong, I go to hell. But if I do believe and I'm wrong, what have I lost? A whole lot of life. A whole lot of things you didn't and could have done, but you didn't because you thought some God was watching you or something was wrong with it. In Utah, I worked with a guy that lived in Utah. They had to make caffeine-free soda because the Mormons couldn't drink caffeine. Come on, in Utah, they can't play the lottery in Utah. So everybody just goes to the next state and give them their money. Whatever state is the bordering state, we see it all the time. They'll go to the next state and then just do that. When in Georgia they outlawed, when fireworks were outlawed, everybody just went to the next states and got them. I still heard fireworks popping every 4th of July and Labor Day, whatever it was. They was popping firecrackers. So Georgia finally gave in, and boom. They got the firecracker stores here. They don't have to travel to get it, and they get their money. That's the bottom line anyway, getting the money. So they do all I seen this one lady, she had a picture of her drinking some coffee. That was her freedom. I couldn't drink coffee as a Mormon. Couldn't drink coffee. It's so much. And then the Bible Belt states that they're supposed to be the ones with all the Christianity, have the highest teen pregnancy rates and the poorest people. Everything that's the worst thing is in the Bible Belt states. Why? Because you won't grow. Because you're stuck trying to commit to this book full of fiction that doesn't matter in 2021. It doesn't matter. Rape in the Bible and rape in real life, two separate things. And they're not going to get you in court and say, because it says in the Bible you shouldn't. It says in the laws that you shouldn't. So you don't. Nowhere in the Bible about driving. If you drive 20 miles over the speed limit, you'll get a super speeder ticket. That's not in the Bible, is it? Nowhere about internet predators and all of these things, is it? Because why? If this God was real, you need to update. You get apps in your phone updates. How often does your phone update, but this book was supposed to be the book to get you through life hasn't? It hasn't budged. People are still debating over this fictional book today. They are creating new sects of Christianity all the time over this one dead book. It's just a book. And it means nothing. People quoting Bible passages, don't even call them scriptures. I don't even call it scripture. It's a passage in a book. Scripture like it has authority. It has no authority. They quote these Bible passages like they mean something. Like something's going to move because you said it. I haven't seen it. You ain't seen it. Nobody's seen it. I'm walking out of a store at Walmart, might have been one of those, and the woman walking past me got on a shirt that says, "My God is bigger than cancer." So why is cancer still here? And Christians get cancer. Christians die from cancer too, while praying and worshiping and got everybody putting oil all on them, and they still die from cancer. So how is your God bigger than cancer and cancer is still around? At least lie and say my God is bigger than polio. I mean, the scientists took care of polio, but if you're going to lie anyway, lie about something that ain't here. My God is bigger than the Black Plague. Say something like that that makes more sense than lying about things that are still here. My God is bigger than COVID, but we're still in a pandemic. You still can't go to church. You still got, if you do go to church, you still got to spread out. But your God bigger than that. You in the so-called house of God, but you still got to wear a mask. And then most of them have done what is it? What is the thing called? The CO1, the CO13. I ain't said it in so long, I forgot. But I'm saying they all have lined up with the government anyway, so they can't say nothing about the government, so they gotta follow suit anyway, so they don't have to pay no taxes. And as long as you don't pay taxes as a church, then you can't say nothing the government does. All this, all of this thing about the government and church, and the government is running the churches, because they can tell y'all to shut down and they can stop it. They can stop you. And what does your God do? Nothing. I done seen this big church up the street from me, right next to the package store, that shut down. But we streaming online. Yeah, but your God is all powerful. If your God was real, the churches would actually grow during COVID and not be closing up shop. And a lot of them little churches that was holding on by a thread, because they was big at one point, and they was nice at one point, and now they got the old members, and now the old people can't be exposed to this stuff. Them churches are dead now. They are dead. And now they so mad because the young people are learning, and they're not going for the bull crap. They're not. All we've seen this Christianity do is really divide and conquer. Anytime you got a child, I mean, come on, I can't do it. You got a child that comes out of the religion and you cut them off. Your blood, your seed, and you cut them off because of something you believe. But what is it? If I believe, what do I lose? You lose a lot. You can't even learn in peace, because if it comes against what you believe, you have to reject it to protect the nonsense that you believe. You can't keep up with the real world the way you should because you have to protect an ancient myth. That's what it is. Nobody's following this stuff now. I'm seeing all kinds of people now of premarital sex. I seen somebody said, is it premarital sex if you're not getting married? Premarital sex. How long has premarital sex been going on? Forever. In fact, people had to get married because they had premarital sex and then got pregnant and then had to get married. Did it stop the child from coming? No. They're here today. It was just for the approval of people, not of God. I've never seen a God step in, come down and say something about anything they would disapprove with. You only see men doing it. For any religion, men are coming down saying these things. So now, with what's going on, the apologists are really in high gear, lying up a storm as they do best. Yeah, I won't have to name drop, but Alfredo Valentin, when I was in that group, and I did a video about him and somebody else, and I mentioned him. Why? Because I dealt with him. I dealt with him. Major liar. Major liar. Liar. Seen the video with Shaka almost did the video showing him and what's the dude? Is it Vincent Bantu? And they said about plagiarism on Shaka's video. You know, there was no plagiarism in antiquities. And then Shaka read the information where they did all kind of plagiarism in antiquities. And then they came back and did a whole video. I seen Alfredo, somebody else did a whole video where he moved the goalpost, lying and saying something. And I watched a little bit of it and I waited about a few lies, and after I did a few lies, I clicked off because I said, all they're going to do is lie anyway. He'll never tell the truth because he's an apologist. You got to protect this thing and try to be something when you're really nothing. Try that and go to the grocery store and cut in front of somebody in the line, go to the front of the line and say, I'm a Christian apologist, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut in here and so I can get on and go about my day. And see how you get treated. Nobody cares about that mess. Nobody cares. Except for the Christians that need you for confirmation bias, because they want to hear you back up the nonsense in a world where they know it makes no sense. Nonsense is, it makes no sense. For real. It is nonsense. All they do is lie, and they have no choice but to lie because they can't face the truth. And then they want to get into things that happened in history and what this church father said and what have you. But the whole gist is, if we was talking about the Milky Way, we got to get to the sun. Yeah, we got you know, Mercury and Venus and Earth and Mars and Neptune and Jupiter and all. We got all that going on around it. But the bottom line, let's get to, we talk about all of that, but we ain't talking about the sun. We don't have a sun. If we don't have a sun, we don't have a solar system. How does this system work? What's the center of this system? Solar. What is solar? Soul. What is soul? Sun. You're talking about all of the satellites around the sun, but you have no sun. Y'all want to talk about things that happen, but you have no God. Your God is ineffective. You can't prove this God. And if you can't prove this God, guess what else you can't prove? That this God has a son. That this God has a child. You can't prove the Son, let alone a child of the Son. So they want to get into this deep talk and quote a bunch of stuff. All these debates is all about who can pull up information that somebody from way back said. And just because they said it don't mean it's right. Because I see Christian apologists do it all the time. They quote Christian fathers. And the Christian fathers lied. They lied. They understood what it was. Come on. It's all about survival. And when you got to survive and you're living well, then in order for you to do what you got to do to survive, you're going to have to manipulate and lie. And that's what they did. You think back in the day, those church fathers who lived better than the people they were teaching weren't going to continue to lie and do what they had to do to survive? In a world with no Walmart, no Kroger, no Food Lion, no Aldi's, no Lidos, none of that. They had that. No QT, none of that. No, they're in a world where especially when they was around when Rome was running things in that area, and Rome was they wasn't killing Christians, they was promoting Christians, making them politicians. So what is politics about? Negotiations. Well, politicians don't lie, but they made the church fathers politicians. And what did the church fathers do? Lie. They lied. They had to. They want to stay where they want to stay. Chief liar, Kenneth Copeland. Forgive me for talking about Kenneth Hagin. He was genuine, even though he was in the myth. But I'm just saying, Kenneth Copeland is a crook. Straight crook. If anybody follow me, he's a crook. I watch this. Now, for me, back in the day, I used to watch John Osteen. I watched John Osteen on television, and I loved the way he had a nice sized church too. And he had that Bible on the podium, and he was walking around that stage, and he would be quoting those Bible passages, and they would just put them on the screen, and he could go from this this passage to that passage to this passage, and the Bible was still on the podium, and I was like, wow, I want to be like that. And even though he was in the myth, he really believed the myth. A lot of people I follow, some of them were genuine in the myth. They were genuine. Miles Monroe, I cried when he died. He was genuine in the myth. He was. Derek Prince, I read all his stuff, still got his stuff. Genuine in the myth. Genuine people, not about money, but taught things. But what I'm back, that Kenneth Copeland is a crook. He's a crook. And anyway, back to John Osteen. So I would watch John Osteen, and then John Osteen died. And of course, in a business sense, when John Osteen died with a mega church, you know how hard it is to build up a mega church, to get people to come to your church every week, and you got a nice sized mega church, and Joel Osteen is his son. Joel didn't want to preach. Joel didn't want to preach, and you can tell to this day, Joel knows nothing about that Bible. But they put him front and center, and he did the same thing his father did. He hold the Bible, this is my Bible, and say all that stuff. And Joel be talking, he ain't talking about that Bible. He don't say sin, he ain't say mistakes, he ain't gonna talk about hell. He ain't gonna talk about nothing that offends people, because acceptance brings in the people, and the people have money. The people have the money. And that's why everybody loves Joel, because there's no condemnation. There's just acceptance, because the truth of the matter is, and I've said this before, Everybody's God is in their head, and their God is them. Your God is in your head and how you shape and form that God to be. So your God is not condemning of you. You might condemn somebody else, but guess who your God really doesn't condemn? You. Because you cannot be married and having premarital sex, but guess what you're going to do when you can hook up with that person to do it? You're going to have premarital sex. You'll even live together and not be married, but your God ain't condemning you because he knows your heart, because your heart is technically, your heart is really, that's your heart that beats blood. This is what your heart, your brain. It's you. It's you. And you aren't going to condemn you because you love you. You will lie and do what you got to do for you. So you think your God, which is you, is going to condemn you? No. You'll steal something from work for you. But you only did it because the company already making a whole bunch of money anyway. And I mean, whatever, and I do so much anyway, so it ain't bad. But you're doing it for you. This whole thing is about you. Oh, God, oh, he told me to go out and get this job. No, if you research the real stories behind these testimonies, you'll find it ain't got nothing to do with God. You talk to somebody, they told you such and such is hiring, and then you put in an application, and then you might have had a little experience on something, and then you got it. Show me you could be a school principal, and you never went to college, because God told you you're going to be the principal of this school. And I know Christian school, so I'm connected with your family. Go to the counties and they make you a principal because God told them to make you the principal, and you don't even have a bachelor's degree. Let me see something like that happen. This is nonsense. I haven't seen a God do anything that humans can't do. It's always something humans do that gets attributed to God. And then it's like playing a trump card. They always got to be like, well, you know, the doctor did it. Well, God made the doctor. The paramedic did it, but God had made the paramedic. So, but if these were the real cases, we should be so far advanced at this point because God has told us all of these things. But for some reason, men have to research and do trial and error in order to advance, which indicates there is no God involved. If you look at the first cars, and they cranking cars, no windshields, don't drive that fast, no airbags, no rack and pinion, we can go down the list, no suspension, and no, there was no God involved. It was trial and error. You do something and then you improve on that and improve on that, and you look at the newer cars and totally different. It has nothing to do with a God, all about men. And when you go to buy one, mention God, see if you get a discount. I bet you won't. Houses today have changed. And like at my house, the cable hookup is right behind me. That's where the original cable hookup was. But notice that wall? You could put a nice big stand-up TV right there in 2002. Now, TVs go over the fireplace. And they have a whole hookup over the fireplace. Sockets, everything is set up to put a television or anything you want that plugs in over the fireplace. trial and error. Nothing to do with God's. Nothing. It's like God is sitting back doing nothing. And if there was a God and he's sitting back doing nothing, praise him. Praise him for what? Doing nothing? Nobody wins awards for doing nothing. You don't get parades in your city when you in your football team and you don't win the Super Bowl. You don't get a parade in your city and in your NBA and you didn't win, the championship. So you get praise because you did something that was worthy of praise, and you are visible or you are detectable by one of the five senses. Yet you want people to worship and praise a God that does nothing and is not detectable at all by any of your senses. Come on, you don't get a job because you did many years in college and you got either a bachelor's or a master's or a PhD, and they don't put on your diploma God. They put your full name. You put your full name on the diploma because the person that did the work was you. You got to go get licensed. That license doesn't say child of God. Nobody cares you're a child of God. You could be applying and you're a child of God, and the person doing the other end is a child of God. But guess what? If you're not certified or licensed, guess what's going to happen? You can't do it. But I'm a child of God and you a child of God, which means absolutely what in the real world where we have laws and rules and things? Absolutely nothing. We go to the same church. I sit right next to you. It means absolutely nothing. So what can God do about this to fix this? Absolutely nothing. And this is the reality that Christians aren't allowed to see and accept as reality. If that was the case, I'm telling you, if the God thing was the case, you would have no homeless Christians. You would have no broke Christians. You understand? You would have no sick Christians. You would have no sinning Christians. But that's just not the case. Just because somebody tell you, I'm a pastor, my thing means double watch him. Because he's shiesty. It don't mean, oh, he a pastor, trust him. He the main crook. He the crook. He's at the top of the crook pyramid and got the people under him. No, double watch him. He's the real crook. Right, that means he's the one that gets up and talks to manipulate all the other people. So you double watch him. That don't mean, see, thankfully he told us he was a pastor. So we know now to watch him. Because we know he's a crook. God said. They always try to throw that back and say, God said. God said to you but didn't say to me. But then when I'm alone, God said to me. That never makes sense. God will say to me, I'll tell somebody, God had told me. And then you go to church and then they say, God told me to tell you. Hold on. He could have told me that when I was talking to him alone. When he was talking to me in my head, he could have told me that. Now he told you in your head, and now you telling me in front of everybody while everybody looking. And that's not for you. It is for you because you're going to believe this stupid mess, but that's for all the people who's sitting around. God told me you going through something. Oh. But he said he just trying you, he testing you to make sure. And then, you going to come out of that. Oh. Sound like life to me, and everybody don't come out of that. Some of y'all, guess what? Some of y'all gonna lose your house. I've done it. Lost the whole house, lost the whole Lexus, done all that. And where was God? He ain't show up to, hey, the tow truck people took that car. They took that car. That mortgage company took that house. Where was God at? If God gave us the house, how they take it? They disrespecting God. And guess what? I can see the same house online, right? I go check it every once in a while. Look at the same house. And just side note, I have in the kitchen, right? I was young, you know what I'm saying? I put the chair railing in the kitchen. I put the crown molding in the kitchen. And I painted the walls 2 colors that the wife wanted. Of course, now, you know, you look at the house, ain't no more carpet no more. They're doing that wood stuff now. This is wood. And they don't have the regular blinds the kids tear up. They had the faux blinds. But when I go look at the picture of the old house, yeah, they repainted them walls, but they left my chair railing and they left that crown molding. They left that, didn't they? I did the thing on that. My mark on that house. Anyway, God did it. God wasn't paying that mortgage. We had to get up, go to work, pay that mortgage. Pay that high car note, pay them taxes, pay the maintenance on that Lexus. I ain't getting another Lexus. And there's not nothing bad on Lexus, it's just I don't want to pay the money. I don't want to pay that extra money for an oil change, that extra money for certain simple maintenance that you don't have to pay on a regular car. That's just me. That's just me. Do your thing. If you want a Benz, you want a BMW, that's you do your thing. I'm just saying me. That's just me. I just want something I'm comfortable in. Give me from point A to point B, and I'm good. And I got extra money in my pocket. That's all I want. But God, oh God. Yeah, and people, y'all gonna keep seeing this stuff that the Christians are in turmoil. And it amazes me. I had a dude in the one post, we was discussing a certain topic, and I'm explaining to him things. Of course, he don't want to hear it because it doesn't fit his theology. And I even started taking pictures in books, sending the writings in the actual books, not just typing it, showing you it in the books. And he said, well, who's the scholar? What scholar said this? Sent him the names of multiple scholars that said these things. His reply, go to another group, which ironically we are both in that group too, go to another group and make a post saying, atheists say, no, I caught right up with, no, I'm here too, I'm here too. Yeah, you wouldn't reply. I gave you everything you wanted. I'm done here because you don't want to tell me the source. I gave you all the sources, and you could Google them, look them up, and see they real people, and they said what they said, and they have the credentials and everything. And rather than respond to me, he gonna try to run to another post that we still in and make a comment. Make a whole post about the thing. Shot him down there too. Facts is facts. And like I put up, the dude had a book called Facts Don't Care About Your Feelings. Facts is fact. Do you think a doctor want to come out there and tell you that you have stage whatever cancer? Do you think that doctor want to come out there and tell you that your loved one didn't make it? Do you think they want to come out there bearing bad news? Do you think the doctors want to do that? They can't candy coat it and be like, well, you know, we was in there and God started talking to us and told us, stop working on him, because I have called him to be home with me. See, honestly, they believe some foolishness like that. They really believe that foolishness and then go to church and tell everybody the testimony. The doctor said, because it's a doctor. That's sort of the doctor said that God told him. Stop working on him. I have called him home. Oh, they'll get a nice, I've been not saying that, they get a nice offering that week. Nice offering. I mean, it's a lot of us who was teaching this Bible who really thought about, let me stay in it and make some money. I've had people tell me you should stay in it and make some money. Now, if there's like, what, 1 or 2 billion Christians in the world, and you talking about you can go out there and scoop up enough of them to pay your bills for you to tell them lies? And a lot of them are doing, they don't want to get no, these pastors ain't never had no real jobs. Their job has always been lying to people about what the people want to believe. Lying to them about what they want them to believe. I've had family members tell me when a pastor came through and they gave their rent money, sowing into the kingdom, and then struggled because they didn't give away the rent money. God ain't help. You learned a valuable lesson. You better wake up. I was a Christian then and thought, that was stupid. Don't give your money away when you got to pay bills. I heard a pastor say when I was under him, if God tell you, if your power bill due and God tell you to give that money, you give you that money and you let God work. God gonna handle that power bill. And I thought then, hell no. You better pay that power bill because Georgia Power will cut you off. You better pay that power bill. Talking that foolishness. God gonna do something. Yeah, God, would you got them candles lit in the dark with no AC, no heat, no TV, no internet, no nothing. Can't even charge your phone. Listen to that God mess. No. Come on, people. Y'all know I'm telling the truth here. And that's why I'm not into convincing Christians, because they're convinced in the myth, the cult. They hate when somebody say Christianity is a cult. It's a cult. That's what it is. It's a religion. No, it's relationship. You need 2 people for a relationship, and you only got you. And I got God. Where's God? He's in your head. He's you. Yeah, that's just you. You need another person. Any real relationship got 2 people, not just one. And all you showing so far is just you. So you bring us another person, or sounds like you're in a cult. You're in a cult, and you got an imaginary friend. And you listen to somebody telling you lies, and you're enjoying it, and you go back every week. And sometimes in the middle of the week on Wednesday. I don't think they're doing Bible study right now. I'm not in the church world. I don't know if they're doing Bible study, but if they can barely do church, I doubt they're doing Bible study, and no Christian really studies the Bible anyway. So they're just going every Sunday when they can to get lied to and get their money up to prepare for the next week to hear more lies and get their money up. That's basically all. You get no results from it. Oh, God did this, and God, everything they say. God woke me up in the morning. Did you set your alarm clock? Well, yeah, I set my alarm clock. Then that's what woke you up. Because don't set your alarm then. Don't set an alarm anymore. And let God wake you up and come back and talk to me about that. Tell me how God woke you up every day. You had to be at work 8 o'clock, and God woke you up without no alarm clock. Talk to me then. But you talk about you set an alarm and didn't want to get up to go to the job that he gave you. Right, you didn't want to pump gas because gas was too high in the SUV that he gave you. Right, you get tired of paying that high mortgage in the house that he gave you. Right, You tired of everything he gave you cost you money that you got to work for, and you get tired of the whole thing and complain about it. You complain about the same things, Christians complain about the same things that non-believers complain about. I've never gone to the grocery store and they got a Christian section where y'all got some cheap grapes, and here go the grapes for everybody else who don't believe in God. Here go grapes for the righteous and grapes for the sinners. Here go the beef for the righteous and the beef for the sinners. Here go the ribs for the righteous. Shouldn't be eating ribs anyway, but in the ribs for the sinners. We in the same grocery store paying the same prices, paying the same taxes on our house, paying the same car insurance, paying the same car note, paying the same mortgages. Where's the difference? Please tell me, where's the difference? Do you ever see a car accident happen and you got to go around and be like, ooh, like both of the cars are smashed up, and you thinking, ooh, that one was a believer and that one wasn't, and that one was he's probably a Muslim. That was probably the Seventh-day Adventist. No, he was an atheist because his car banged up the most. So he's an atheist, but the car that wasn't banged up as most, it's a Christian, and nobody thinks it's foolishness. It's foolishness. To the highest degree, it's foolishness. And then I had one dude told me he gonna say to me after I smashed him to pieces, I can't listen to you because you're an atheist. Well, what's the difference to us? Matter of fact, I just said to him, what no atheist can really answer and accept. I'm going to say answer and accept. Atheism means lack of belief in gods, but new dictionaries are being written and new philosophies and new things that happen that change. I didn't even read the rest of it. Like, oh no, first definition, that was it. Because you can't accept it doesn't mean something changes. That's all it is, homeboy. It's not a philosophy. It's not a philosophy. It's nothing deep. It's just there's some bull crap is said. I don't believe it. You do. You're called a theist, and I'm called an atheist. Which means I don't believe the crap you believe because I don't have enough evidence to believe it. And I shouldn't believe it. I should know it. And I'm talking about we do believe in some things we might not actually have access to, but they are based in reality. That's the difference. They are based in reality. Well, you believe that chair will hold you up when you sit in it, but you don't know. You have faith, you believe the chair hold, but it's an actual chair, and we've been sitting in chairs for a long time. And I had one of my chairs actually collapse on one of my daughters. Collapsed. She had total faith in it, but guess what happened? It collapsed. But guess what? It's an actual chair. Now you want me to believe in a whole person, or three persons that are one person. You want me to believe in three persons that are one person, which I don't know how that works, which none can be verified except in your mind when you read this fictional book. I'll pass. Can I go to Harry Potterism? How about I go to Harry Potterism? Well, and Hermione was really the hero, truth be told. Come on, y'all. Hermione was really the hero. We all know that if you watch the movies. Watch the movies. I don't know about the books, but the movies. I'm just saying. And then you got the Hebrew Israelites out here, which ain't nothing but pro-black Christians. Just change all the white pictures to black pictures, and call Jesus Yahshua, and call God Yahweh, and all that, and it's the same thing. No, they believe the same thing, basically, the same myth. And then dressed like Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation back in the 80s. you know, and then go around screaming at white people on corners, and that's basically the religion. That's all it is. That's all it is. Same thing. Pro-black Christians, same thing. I don't know how many of them will see this because I doubt they will watch this far into this video. And of course, Reginald Wells, who likes to include me in his, I guess, devil people agenda, might not see this far into the video to even hear his name be called. But he's a nut too. And that's all it is. It is what it is. I'm just saying. He's part of that religious, close with the apologists and all of that, and think he's saving the world because me and other folks don't believe in their imaginary God. So I'll drink to that. Ooh, what's in your cup? I'll be like Lil Wayne, why you worrying about what's in my cup? I'm not a Christian. And I'm not bound to all that bull stuff. But I do thank Larissa Deese for the cup. Nice cup. I like the mug. No. Mug. I thank her for the mug. Bought me tea and all that stuff. Nice mug. Don't get it twisted. Thank you, Larissa. And I love her talk. She hate the bull crap, all this religious stuff. When she deal with her family members, and she vents to me and about the ridiculousness of Christianity. I just sit back when she talk to me and I just listen to her like, It's ridiculous to give somebody credit for everything you've done and somebody else has done. Somebody who's not even here, you give them the credit for everything everybody else has done except that person who is fictional. And Christians are to the point, they are so limited in knowledge that you say, which God? And they'll say, the only true God. Like that was the title of just their God, not knowing there are many gods. And you just calling your God the one true God, not knowing that was Odin, that was Zeus, and that was many other gods. Oh, the God that created the heavens and the earth, that's many other gods. Your myth is stolen anyway. So just hearing them talk about God, when God, like, is only one. Not knowing there are many, and yours ain't the first. It's just the one you were indoctrinated to. But it's just one of many gods, and your God actually has a father and a mother and brothers and sisters. God, Yahweh was they call a volcano god, a mountain god, which is why, or even a god of war, which is why when he spoke to Moses, he called him all the people together to hear him with the smoke all over the mountain. That's what they did. God spoke the 10 Commandments. People don't know that. God spoke the 10 Commandments from the mountain while the people were at the base listening. And the people said they were scared to hear his voice. They didn't want to hear his voice, so Moses, can you talk to him for us? And that's when God called Moses up into the mountain. If you read the book, Exodus chapter 20, that's where it started. God said the 10 Commandments. He didn't write them, he said them. And then he's the God of war, which is why I always kill the Hittites, the Amorites. Just kill. Kill everything. Just kill. Blood. Kill. Because he was no different than Mars or Ares from Greek and Hebrew. He was the God of war. He wanted to kill. Now we come to the New Testament. Fall back on God until Acts, where he killed Ananias and Sapphira for supposedly lying. Fall back on God. Now Jesus is the voice. And Jesus, oh, love your enemy. Oh, pray for those that despise you. Give them your coat and your cloak at the law. Just love them, love them, love them. Oh, they feeding you to the lion. Love them. They beating you over the head. Just love them. Father, they know not what they do. And you come today, especially with black folks, I put Jesus in my back pocket and whoop your ass. They will put that Jesus thing away and deal in reality for that little bit of time. They don't follow all that turn the other cheek. Slap them on one cheek. I dare you. Slap some of certain Christians from with their background. Slap them on the cheek and see what happens. You're not gonna get the old them. You're gonna get the them. It's like, oh, this is the new me. No, this is the you acting like you ain't you until you feel the pain of a. I don't know if you've ever been slapped. I've been slapped. And a slap ignites every nerve to the point it just, I don't know if it go down your spine, what happens, but it takes you to a different place. I had one of my homeboys say, my dad slapped me. I'd rather he punched me than slap me. A punch is a slap is it's not meant to knock you out, but it will ignite all the nerves that it touches, and it does something to you. Slap somebody and see how much Jesus they got in them. No sooner than you do the slap, you're going to get all the realness of that person on you, dealing with you. Try it and see if I'm lying. You got to punch them rather than slap them. Slap is disrespect. Then spit on them and see what happens too. Spit on that same person you slap, or spit on them and slap on them. See what happens. Be prepared to fight, is all I'm saying. But anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and log out of this video. I'm going to be out of here. Like I said, again, hit the like buttons. And my solid 1,200, I'm sorry I can't post all the time, but I'm trying to do something now since I got a little more freedom in my house. But hit the like buttons. If you've watched this far in the video, at least like. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And I'm working on a couple of videos, some knowledge videos to put together, but it's hard for me to put them together. It's just not what I'm used to. But I got some videos I want to put together. I still got to work like everybody else, okay? I got to work like everybody else. So I'm out of here. I got things I got to do. It's late. I got work tomorrow like a normal person. I ain't no superstar. This ain't no mansion. You know, I gotta pay for this stuff. I'm not no Bruce Wayne. I'm just saying. So I'll see y'all on the next video. Y'all take care out there. Peace.